Hello, Zach Yelton here, Director of Premium Services at Coastal Shores Landscaping. Finally, it's November. We're so excited. This is one of our favorite times of year to be out working day in and day out. Our crews seem just more energized. There's a chill in the air. We're just getting excited to finish out this year strong. I want to talk to you today about a couple of things that we're looking for in the field and that we're talking with our crews about also. One, as temperatures begin to fall, we're going to be working with our crews to check your irrigation clocks, adjusting them for the cooler weather. We don't want them running quite as frequently and maybe not as long because we're not losing as much of that water to evaporation and the summer heat. We still are going to keep your systems on, but we'll be reducing those run times to adjust for the system. Another thing we're looking for is this is a great opportunity to treat our plants and shrubs with horticultural oil, what we call Dormant Oil. Basically, it's mineral oil. It's a great product that works well to treat things like whiteflies and scale that have been plaguing your plants for the year. So our crews are equipped with that. Each week they have backpack sprayers that they're coming out there and treating your shrubs as they see those problems. Another thing, turf weeds, late summer turf weeds, broadleaf weeds, things like that. This is a great time of year to treat for them. We aren't quite as hot, so we don't have to risk burning and damaging the grass like we do in some of the heat of the summer months. So in the subject of weeds, I do want to mention, I mentioned this last month in our newsletter, we pay real close attention to soil temperature. So while we're seeing some of the summer weeds go away, we're getting ready to see some of the winter weeds start to germinate. So things like Poa annua, which is annual bluegrass, chickweed and clover and some other broadleaf weeds that will be germinating throughout the winter. We want to stay on top of those. If we're seeing yards that have had problems in years past, we're going to target those with a pre-emergent application. That of course is extra treatment. We'll be recommending those to you as we see a need though. If you have any questions about pre-emergent herbicide, please let us know. Pre-emergent is a product we put down in a granular form. It covers the grass and turf areas and even the plant beds, helps prevent some of those real problematic weeds. Another thing I want to mention to you, while we're starting to see insect pressure drop, finally, we've had such a tough summer with insects. Things like armyworms, mole crickets, chinch bugs have really been plaguing our lawns this summer all across the low country. But we're starting to see some of that pressure subside now with the cooler temperatures here. But one thing we are going to have to watch out for is brown patch fungus. As cooler temperatures settle into our night times, the daytimes are still a little warm. A good cloudy day like we have today, these are prime conditions for fungus to break out in your lawn. If you have a lawn, say an Augustine lawn for instance, those lawns are particularly susceptible to brown patch. And in fact, we're seeing some even right here, right now in the neighborhood I'm in. So we're going to be identifying those, making recommendations to you if we need to treat that kind of stuff. Last thing I'll say is that while it seems unlikely, we're not too far away from our first frost of the season. You know, coming up here toward the end of November, 1st of December, you can expect a frost at some point here. So one thing we always like to recommend is that you have several blankets, some frost protection devices, something on hand to cover some of your sensitive plants. So some of your container plants that you've been nursing all summer, they may still be beautiful. Even some things like citrus, sago palms, those things you want to either bring indoors. If you can't bring them indoors, you want to cover them. So stay tuned. Actually, we're going to have some tips later this month on how the proper way to cover a plant and some of the things you can consider there. All right. Again, as Thanksgiving approaches, we're so excited about this season. I hope you're making plans with your family, getting excited to either take a trip or just hosting people at your home. Thanksgiving, Christmas season's almost here. Just looking forward to celebrating life and all the goodness that we have here in the low country. So again, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in to our November video. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Zach Yelton here, Coastal Shores Landscaping. Hope you have a great week.